What's up everybody, Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews here, and today we're not diving into a product review, but we're diving into a question. Is Xbox Game Pass actually worth it, or are we heading into a gaming future that looks more like a rental service monopoly than a space for real ownership? And to preface this, I have used Game Pass, I've enjoyed Game Pass, and I canceled it. So let's unpack why. Stick around because this one's gonna probably start a conversation. Yes, I know this is a hot button topic, but I've been having a lot of really great discussions with my friend Christopher from Cozy Tech Reviews. He definitely thinks it's worth it. I've got some reservations, so let's talk about it. So I ran Game Pass for a few months, mainly on PC because I don't have an Xbox. I got it to play Starfield at launch, which was fantastic, and I also like to play a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre with friends on it, so no complaints about the selection, as there's always a great library of games on the platform. What I really loved about Game Pass was the cross-platform access. I could play on a weaker PC, a gaming handheld, even on a Mac, wherever I wanted to. But the flip side is that streaming meant that it was 1080p max, and sometimes that network lag just hits a little bit wrong. Eventually I did have to cancel Game Pass. Part of it was finance reasons, but honestly, even when I could afford it, that monthly charge just felt like a reminder that said, hey, you're not playing enough to justify this subscription service. I game maybe about 1.5 to 2 hours a night, maybe, so if I skip a few days, that value disappears really fast. And now, because I don't have the subscription service anymore, if I want to revisit Starfield, I either pay full price or resub just to get access to my save files again, and that does sting a little bit. But let's be fair, Game Pass is a solid deal for a lot of people. If you game for hours every day, or you've got kids cycling through different titles, it's an absolute no-brainer. For solo gamers like me, it does start to feel a bit like a treadmill, like you have to keep playing just to get your money's worth out of it, and that's just not how I want to engage with games. I also just want to own what I play. I wait for Steam sales, pick up what I know that I will enjoy, and then I just keep it forever. Game Pass lets you buy games at a discount, sure, but by then, I've usually moved on. And here's where I start to get a little bit skeptical of Game Pass, and almost cynical in a way. Game Pass is helping some developers, no question at all. Niche titles like Clair Obscur Expedition 33 that just came out and is just blowing up right now, they blew up in a large part because they were available on Game Pass where people could try them out and then realize, oh, these are fantastic. But long term, we're normalizing access over ownership, and just like Netflix killed physical media, this could nudge gaming into a direction where we just don't own anything. We just rent access until it disappears or just rotates out of the library. And yeah, Microsoft's dominance is a real concern. They're buying up studios, making Game Pass the default, and spreading it across every handheld and operating system. Sony kind of refuses to keep up with this and keeps painting themselves into a corner, and then Nintendo is just kind of doing its own thing, which has always been kind of the way that Nintendo handles their gaming systems. It's always been very separated from the rest of the gaming world, but this is also a concern where it's an overpriced digital ownership with a physical chip as a middleman, because even when you purchase a Nintendo Switch 2 game, you still have to download it from the digital store. Now, this is not a video to go down the Nintendo Switch 2 rabbit hole and the problems that I have with it. I actually pre-ordered the Switch 2, so if it actually does show up on time, be sure to stick around and subscribe so you can see my review on it. But getting back to Game Pass, where it really starts to stretch its legs and show its value is if you've got a household of gamers, if you like to try before you buy, or if you burn through titles really quick. Game Pass is just undeniably fantastic in that regard. But if you're a casual gamer like myself, if you like to replay your library, or if you even just value owning your collection, it's not the win that it appears to be. And that's one of the reasons that I'm a big fan of Steam. I've been using Steam for a really long time. I think Steam's refund policy gives you a better demo system than most people realize, and once you own a game, it's yours, no strings attached. Game Pass is built around a very specific kind of gamer, and if you're not that person, you're subsidizing someone else's playtime. So is Game Pass actually worth it? I've said a lot of good about it and a lot of bad about it, but it really depends on who you are. For me personally, it's not. I would rather play at my own pace and not feel pressure to keep getting value because I'm paying a monthly service. But what do you think in the comments below? Let me know what your thoughts on Game Pass are. Is Game Pass the future, or is it just a Netflixication of gaming? I guess would be the best way to describe it. So anyways, tear me up in the comments if you disagree with me. I'm looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts and opinions on Game Pass. Don't get me wrong, I still think it's a fantastic service, and I think it's a really great option for a lot of people, but I don't think it's perfect, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching and stopping by today. Again, I'm Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews. I'll see you next time. So real quick before you go, YouTube thinks that you might like this video or this video, so if you want to keep exploring the channel, then be sure to check those out. Have a good one.